Now, I'm finding this a bit uncomfortable, unconscionable actually. Why is it that the colleagues of victims don't speak out? Now, we had it with Jimmy Savile in the BBC, and when you spoke out against Jimmy Savile, you would get barred, you'd get banned from the BBC, such as John Lydon from the Sex Pistols. I'm no fan of him, but there you go. But that's another story. But you see, the thing is, for me, my dear wife, she was a victim from a very aggressive, violent paedophile of an ex-husband. Horrible man. But she was intimidated, like these poor women at Harrods, Fayed, who died at the age of 95. Yes, Fayed's predatory behaviour was an open secret when I worked at Harrods. Well, why didn't you actually say anything? You could have kept an anonymity. I've just been hearing on the radio this morning, all these people phoning up, I worked there, that was common knowledge. He used to get his security guards to approach the women that he liked. They'll meet him at his office. Yeah. These people are complicit, and they're only coming out now when they think they can get their voices heard on the radio or stories told in the newspapers. Now, I'm not talking about the victims, because that's traumatic for them. And in some cases, they might think it was a bit, it's low-level stuff. And this was back in the 90s, so, that's what used to go on back then. That's not acceptable. It wasn't acceptable in the 90s. It's not acceptable now. This was a regular occurrence. How the hell did these people get away with it for so long? It is unconscionable. And although I'm not saying, okay, some victims I'd say, well, Reddy, you should have said something. You're strong enough to say something. Other victims would have been so intimidated and frightened to say anything. They were bullied into, submission basically. So they kept stum. Now, this goes on all over the flipping place, and also in marital homes and what have you, whether it be mental bullying or violent bullying, aggression, rape, like my dear wife, Also found out it was a paedophile in the end, Schedule 1 offender. David Holland, if you're watching. I just find it... I'd have to say something so severe as that. I'm kind of struggling with people around here driving about on English registered vehicles, yet they live here, and that's totally illegal to do so. And they ain't even MOT, taxed or insured. I had 3 in the last 2 days. And I'm thinking to myself, I need to say something, but then you kind of feel like a grass, and it's like, I don't know. There again, they could hurt somebody. Just like Fayed. He's caused these poor women such trauma that they've had to live with for the rest of their lives. If they, either they submit to him, to his evil ways, or they get bullied by the security team. Now the security guard is still alive. Maybe he should be flipping convicted, and anyone else who's complicit. Maybe we need a law that, like maritime law, if you see somebody in distress, you must do what you can to help them. That's maritime law. Hence all these refugees and what have you coming over their little boats when they're in distress. It's maritime law. Maybe we need a similar law for those witnesses of such atrocities. This is an atrocity. It's a form of terrorism. It really is. If you are... make someone feel fear and trauma, well, that's terror. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and I don't know what I'd be capable of if one of my children was treated in such a way. I know what I would do. I'd make it very public. I've got the means to do that, I suppose. So, anyway, according to this article, Fayed cannot be brought to justice because he's dead. And there's power in those who suffered being able to express themselves and condemn him publicly. Now, some of those victims would have been strong enough to come forward before. But maybe because they're strong enough, maybe they just brushed it off. I don't know, I'm guessing. This was common knowledge. One geezer saying he was on the site, his office, where he was working was right near the geezer's office. Why the hell didn't he come forward? You know? So, my response wasn't exactly charitable. Good riddance when he died, says one individual. I fought to my one-time employer who had presided over a workplace rife with misogyny and abuse. I was 18 and had just finished my A-levels when I worked at the store in the 1990s. Having grown up in the sticks of Devon, I was desperate to move to London and knew that the store employed school leavers on seasonal contracts in the run-up to Christmas. 5 days after arriving in the capital, I got a job as a waitress and catering assistant working across Harrods. Many restaurants, plus a room in the house of Putney. I was delighted my plan had come together. So her dreams and aspirations were coming together. But what I didn't know was that Harrods was a nightmare for scores of female employees. In this new BBC investigation, Fayed, a predator at Harrods. More than 20 women alleged that they were sexually assaulted by their former boss, and 5 saying he raped them. And that the company covered up. On Radio 4's Today programme on Thursday, just gone, one of those women, Gemma, gave a devastating account of her time working as one of Fayed's personal assistants for 2 years in the late 2000s, and the sexual harassment happened from day one, she said, with Fayed making lewd comments and grabbing her breasts. It goes on. Now, here in France, we just had a recent court case where a husband was drugging up his wife for days on end and providing her services. She's completely out of it, basically. She's being raped. And it's just gone through the courts. I don't know what what sentence he's going to have to serve. But his statement in the court was, yes, I'm a rapist, yes, I'm this, yes, I'm that. But so is every single person in this court. I thought, what? These kind of crimes, look, they often aren't reported. Like what happened to my dear missus. It wasn't reported until it ended up affecting the children. And then he lost any kind of custody. They'd separated at that point. Afterwards, once she thought the children at risk, she had to get strong. And my Caroline's a very mere-hearted person. She's very quiet and nervous. Pretty much because he's beaten the strength out of her. She got me now, though. Ain't she lucky? But you see, I'm beyond words, actually. You tell me what you think. I'm lost for words, not beyond words. I'm lost for words. Tell me what you think. Leave it in the comments down below. It's just wrong, isn't it? It's just wrong, and these people need serious... Well, they need to be caught in the first place, like Jimmy Savile, and end up through incarcerated. Chemical castration, baby. Or just chop it off. And Anyway, let us know what you think. Leave it in the comments down below. Toodaloo. Anyway, a bit more like button, will you?